On my last video, a commenter left me a really good suggestion for another successor chapter that they thought I would really enjoy. Now, I'm one who really does pay attention to suggestions and comments and all that. If people think I would personally like something, I make all my opinions very well known. Will take it seriously and look into it. Will I make a video on it? My inspiration comes and goes. My attention span is a fickle thing. However, the suggestion I was given was an absolute banger. They were completely right. So today we're talking about the Blackguard successor chapter because they are so cool. I really like them. However, they have the really annoying problem in Warhammer 40k where they create a really dope concept and do nothing with it. They leave all this room on the table for the coolest thing ever. I also noticed online that the sources and the actual information on the Blackguard is a bit scattered, so this is my attempt to kind of codify the actual things we know about the chapter into one useful place, I guess.
Thank you to all my channel members for making these videos possible.
The Blackguard, much like the last chapter I talked about, the Raptors, are another Ravenguard successor chapter. In fact, they actually came from the same batch of Ravenguard's second founding successor chapters. It was like Raptors, Blackguard, and the Reavers. Those three came out of the second founding. It is very understandable when you take a look at the Blackguard if you didn't make that connection that they were Ravenguard. A very fair mistake to make. I will get to why. But the Blackguard were made out of the remnants of the Shadow Wardens from the Horus Heresy. The Shadow Wardens were the honor guard for Corvus Corax himself. These absolute masters of stealth who stand at his side, but you can't see them. They're absolute masters at remaining unseen in all terrain, except for this picture, I guess. But the Shadow Wardens really had their numbers reduced in the Dropside Massacre, much like every present Space Marine Legion at the time. I do mean like majorly depleted. Their number was horribly reduced. And then underneath their commander, Commander Gareth Arendi, who would later become their first chapter master, they, under his command, were reorganized as the Blackguard. Now, Gareth Arendi is an interesting fellow. He's also the only named chapter master we have, and I'm very upset about that, because we don't know who the current chapter master is. He could be a very cool character. In fact, the only actual other named character we know about is just another Master of the Forge. That's it. But Gareth Arendi is actually a character in the Horus Heresy books. He shows up in like a couple books. He's also a character of dubious moral standing, but in peak Ravenguard fashion, he's all mopey about it. Because he actually had to make some really hard decisions, like in that Dropside Massacre, he might have, to save some lives, some Ravenguard lives, lured the Salamanders and Iron Hands into some traitor forces as a distraction for his men so they could get to like some escape ships and get off planet side. He felt very bad about this. Again, peak Ravenguard. It's not Ravenguard unless they're all brooding because of the things they did. All these characters got PTSD somehow. It's in their DNA. But after the Horus Heresy, we can literally skip right on to the modern era. We actually have no information of like in between that. But who actually are the Blackguard? What is their vibe? Now, this is where it gets hilarious and why I really like them. It's important to mention, a very key fact about the Ravenguard is their idea of the trifold path of shadow. The three things you must master to win any combat engagement ever. These three paths is stealth, ambush, and vigilance. Those three making up like the talons that you must get very good at. Ravenguard, very good at this. Now, the Blackguard looked at this, and in my head, I think, decided to min-max, because they put all their points in ambush. Everything. They ignored vigilance, they ignored stealth. The Blackguard believe in ranged ambush strikes by way of heavy firepower and artillery strikes. Their favorite weapons of choice? Thunderstrike cannons. Giant mobile artillery on tank treads with replaceable ammo so you could lob big shots at like groups of enemies. It can turn into anti-tank. It can turn into grav shots. You can do a lot of things with this very maneuverable, adaptable siege weapon. The other one they really like, the Vindicator. Vindicator is basically a rhino vehicle, except you slap a big scoop on it and then put an even bigger cannon. This is a siege tank designed for urban warfare. Fun fact, like didn't know this, looking into the origin and like the reason it's made like this, the reason the Vindicator is the way it is, it's designed to slam into a building or like encampment. So the scoop just scoops up a big old path for all your boys, slams into a building, and then those guns just shoot right into the hole you made. Useful. So yeah, they really like big guns. And they also don't believe in the concept of like overkill or restraint or half measures. All their combat engagements end up just leaving huge ass craters. The Blackguard show up to liberate your city, you'll get your city back. It's now just an open plot of land, I guess. Just holes, no more buildings at all, is gone. Which honestly I think is pretty fair. What is peak ambush tactics but instantly deleting your enemies from shots they might not have seen coming through way of giant cannons? That's amazing. Now personally, I think you can actually debate that the Blackguard are following the teachings of Corvus Corax here, much to the disagreement of said Primarch. I don't think he'd agree, but I think that you could reasonably debate that it takes some proper vigilance to fire a big funny cannon. And then as well, in my own personal take, you could make the argument that artillery strikes and giant cannons and blowing up the enemy just completely is technically a successful stealth mission. Because in fact, isn't every mission a successful stealth mission if no one saw you because there's no survivors? That way, there's no witnesses. It's absolutely a foolproof idea. Now watch my expert plan as I hit you with 15 nuclear warheads. Completely stealthily. You'll never see it coming. Though sadly, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows for these very missile-happy boys. It is noted that their gene seed is a bit fucked up. It's degraded a lot over the years, and some of their organs have failed and don't fully work anymore. That's it. That's all the info I got. I don't know what organs, I don't know how the gene seed is degraded. I keep seeing notice in little blurbs saying like, oh, their gene seed's bad. I don't know how though. I can't locate the original source for this. So, I don't know. That, and to slap even more onto it, like 2 of the 3 listed canon engagements for the Blackguard are failures. They were actually there on Cadia fighting against the Black Legion. We all know how that one went. Ugh. That, and they actually fought against the Death Guard in the Caradon campaign. A campaign that they fought like hell. Don't get it twisted. They actually did their damnedest to fight against all the Death Guard and Poxwalkers and everything else. But the planet was lost. They lost that engagement. Sucks. However, they did successfully fight off some Tyranids in a battle known as a Doom Gorge, where that said like Master Forge, the other named character, like the one other guy, he led a really cool attack where they just diverted the Hive Fleet into a bunch of canyons, and then for an entire day just bombarded the canyon, these kill funnels, just blew up all of the Tyranids, just exploded them completely, which, very cool. That, I think that'd work. I guess the Nids didn't try any other strategy, but fair enough. They get the one win. We'll give them that. But that is the Blackguard. I genuinely really like them. They're so interesting and so fun. So I will probably be making more little videos like this on successor chapters I find interesting. So if you have any more, recommend them, especially if you think they're cool. And only if you think they're cool. If they're lame, oh boy. But yeah, that's it. So if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, join my membership, and see ya.